thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film. You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus. If Sanjay does this again, the loss will have to come out.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti from...
Hey, Tainari!
Oh, it's you.
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty...
Well, Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition. The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. Even so, an expert is still required to develop...
Oh, and then...
Not this time, no.
Mr. Tainari! Sanjay! He confused the poisonous...
Never mind. Forget about what I said. Apologies, Traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got some...
Tainari's busy no matter where he is, huh? Yeah, seems like it. Hey, don't look at Paimon like... Well, looks like Tainari might be busy...
Huh?
Paimon's... fine. She's just got a...
Rainbow roses, glaze lily. A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Incense? Oh, the scent is so nice! Wait! Whoa, that was fast! Paimon doesn't have to sneeze anymore!
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru, seen as we're both travelers from abroad.
Oh, so you're here for the flower
I suppose that's accurate.
Paimon is Paimon!
The traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
What happened back there?
Have you ever heard of hay fever? To put it simply, when...
But Paimon...
Well, we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, but there's no need to worry. Pollen allergy...
Oh, well that's...
Traveler! Paimon! There you are. I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air. Emily? What a...
It was nothing, really. I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergies are highly unpredictable.
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
The Spirit Borneal didn't affect Paimon at all, and now she's the one...
It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different factors. Some people are...
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Fontaine where someone had an allergic reaction to soba noodles their family...
Whoa. Good thing Paimon...
In a manner...
In addition to medicine, Emily is also very knowledgeable about...
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge...
A flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got...
Wrong.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only...
Oh, Paimon was sure she got it right.
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine. The perfume...
August, huh?
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sick. That reminds me. Are you familiar with a historical event in Fontaine known as Perfumania? Perfumania was an event that It all started when several merchants released their own lines of high-end, expensive perfumes, marketing them as must-have luxury products. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket. The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. The value of these products became so inflated, regular bottles of perfume were even going for hundreds. But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value. Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers. In the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
What does all this have to do with that Agoost?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Agoost. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million mora a bottle.
10 million?
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Its namesake, the flower used to create it, went extinct. As a result, no new bottles of Agoost have been made, and the value of the perfume remains exceedingly high. Indeed, the Agoost flower was not when the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never been seen.
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition to look for it?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Agoost flower has reappeared in Sumeru. It's causing quite the stir in the Fontaine perfume market.
Traveler, we should help Emily look for it.
I have to agree. Emily wrote me to ask if I could look into the room.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments, to be sure. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige and focus on the beauty of the fragrance itself.
Wow!
Of course, there's also a more practical reason. In recent years, low-grade counterfeit versions of Agoost have been popping up on the font. Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Agoost, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own work.
Okay, that's more like the...
Ever since that rumor started, 3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Agoost flower have appeared on the market. If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Agoost, even just by proving the rumor to be false, Fontaine's perfume market can finally start to get back to normal. Then I'll be free from all the stories and added meaning and just...
That makes sense.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your...
Well, you said it yourself. We're both travelers from abroad, so...
I suppose you're right.
Based on the information I have so far, it's unclear if the rumor is true. Mr. Edgar also thinks it's too early to say, but you could always go talk to him. He would...
I was just about to pay him a visit at the hotel.
Edgar? Who's
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. The flower expert in charge of the exhibition. He's also the most respected and experienced back when he was still working in Fontaine.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one who taught me the basics of perfumery.
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to teach people from Fontaine? It sounds confusing.
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
I need to stay back and keep it...
Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding buildings. They're being used as temporary storage facilities and lodging for exhibition personnel.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that more of that?
It's been so long, I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother haven't changed.
Oh, yeah. All this catching up is not.
Hold on. We have
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emily? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look at you. I've heard you've become quite the famous perfumer and...
Oh, well, it's all thanks to your mentorship.
Hardly. I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years, but I've yet to see one turn out quite as accomplished as you. You're the only... And who are these two? I don't recall you mentioning the...
Ah, they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emily's friends.
And these two gentlemen are...
Of course. I'm Ood, and this here is my younger brother, Blake.
Yes.
Merchant brother?
You must be here to look for the...
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of a ghost? Anyone in the business would be interested in the rumors.
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emily. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well join in. I commissioned a few eremites to do some scouting for me. They searched all over Sumeru, but there were no sightings of the Augur. That being said, there are people in... Some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years, a one-of-a-kind.
Maybe...
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shift. Only a few bottles still exist in Fontaine, and their scent would... Although, could there be a flower out there with a similar fragrance? Or in accord with the same base notes?
Impossible. If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never have...
Technically speaking, the...
Well, let's table that question for now. Edgar, did...
No. By the time they realized they had smelled something, the scent was already gone. Compared to things we see and hear, smells...
It almost...
Wait. Are you saying...
Just thinking out loud.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out that you all traveled so far to be here. Why don't...
Ooh, you've got the keys to the rooms? Do we get free lodging too?
My apologies. Oh, I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the last minute. But by the time Emily wrote to me, there was no more space left for her to stay.
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue. Guess that means there's definitely no space for us.
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an entire hotel at my disposal and no place to offer you to stay. Even after...
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to even although, would it be possible for me to leave some...
Well...
Of course, no trouble at all.
All right, then. Ood, I'll prepare some I'm sorry,
It's all right, Master. I know it was...
I'll be sure to...
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? There's still so many flowers. Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like this exhibition is gonna be huge.
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants. But to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
Oh, this room seems to be a connect blaze. While...
Yes.
All right, then. Where can we find your luggage?
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine. Could I trouble you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect way to repay you for your hospital.
How generous.
Is that so? Mr. Ood, Mr. Blaze.
Hey! What are you doing?
That's Master's voice.
Edgar!
Master!
Hey, Edgar! Are you all right? Can you hear me?
Who? Kyria. August.
Hey, Edgar? Edgar!
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can... Oh, thank you.
I checked. Oh, but that's impossible. It's not like that kid can just grow. Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have just.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle? Oh, really? Do you think whoever did this... Well, we looked all over, but...
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose. He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his... Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition... But first, I do... Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien.
Wait, you know...
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle?
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of it. There were 4 people in total. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating. The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding a goose. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and...
And what does that have to do with us?
Every time your brother called you Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond.
Ah, Miss Emily, out of respect for you have a bright future ahead of you.
You claim to be regular perfume merchants, and...
What?
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly unless, until recently, they were living...
Emily, you little...
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up, but Master's life is in danger. We need to learn whatever we... If Master's attack had something to do... So I'd like to trouble you for...
Fine.
Sylvain!
Lucien, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told... You were right, Miss Emily. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucien. Sometime down the road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking, saddled us with a list of accusations, and started looking into our books. Oh, they did their meddling.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in some...
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him. Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft, and that's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, but we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher,
Like us, Vijava was also... But before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on fire, along with much of the mora we managed to earn.
But destroying all...
It didn't matter at that point, because she...
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why even ask us if you knew all of...
The name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either.
Kiria was Vijava's younger. He was just a clueless kid back then. Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have it. Vijava kept him close most of... After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were...
So, you think Kiria took something with him back then?
Vijava doted on the kid like you wouldn't believe. She even told us to give her cut to her brother if anything happened to her. If she left something behind before she...
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to...
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste.
Poison? No. If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. He probably thought we had something to do with his... We're not looking for Kiria because we have it out. We only went to prison for... As long as we keep things honest this time around.
So that's why you never mentioned Kiria?
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, that's all we know. If you're looking for information on what...
Well, at least we're able to say for certain that the substance Edgar ingested was in fact a goose.
Well, glad to hear it. Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit.
Yes.
You think so too? But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now...
The way you exposed them like that, just based on a hunch? That was... Oh, right! Earlier you...
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I...
So you're a forensic doctor?
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marachese Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patient... In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a... Basically, there are two sides to forensics. Those who collect evidence to expose... I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back to Tainari and the officers at Port Or... I'll stay here and continue to look after Master. Now... Master looks a lot older than when I...